I was hoping for some walk-up music, but maybe next year? Okay. Good evening and welcome to St. James. I am the Reverend Shana Watson, and on behalf of Father David Peck and the St. James community, we welcome all of you to this last concert of the season from the Lancaster British Brass Band. We are delighted to have you back with us. I'm even more excited to be sitting in front of Dan over here, whose daughter, Lauren, yes, I'm embarrassing you, I'm so sorry, because I'm excited for you. One of the youngest members up here. Yes, she deserves a hand clap. He's just so proud of you, and we were over there just talking about your gift and how unique of an experience this is, so yeah. Be kind to him later. So we love that all of the band members share their gifts with our community. We see it as not only a performance or edutainment, but rather it's also a ministry, a special call, especially with these instruments. This band, I've only heard them play one other time, but it's like the only loud sound that doesn't hurt. Hey, thank you. It's like butter, it really is. It's like just being baptized with sound. And it's so amazing that they selected, out of all the spaces you all could be, they decided to come here to St. James. I do want to point out, we don't have handheld bulletins, but their selections of music are available on their website. We are handing out St. James booklets. In the back, they're green booklets if you desire to learn more about the community and what we offer here. And if you have one of these and you turn to page 10, oh, what is that? It says Lancaster British Brass Band right there, right? And so there are many other events and activities and more coming up for this season, and then we'll have a new booklet for the fall winter season. Again, we are grateful for your leadership, Andrew, and for all of those who are with us tonight. Thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity to introduce you.
Hello there. That was an arrangement by Sean O'Laughlin. It takes a lot for a Star Spangled Banner arrangement to get me emotional, but I was feeling it on that one. Yeah, what an amazing arrangement by him. And we're going to count that as the first standing ovation of the evening, if that's okay with you. All right, that's number one. I always ask this because I'm just curious. So we are the Lancaster British Brass Band. How many of you are hearing us for the very first time this evening? Excellent. Love to have you here. Yeah. How many of you consider yourself groupies? You come to everything we do. Yeah. You need to get a life, those of you. Well, would you help us in welcoming our leader, our fearless leader, our music director and our conductor from Westchester University? This is Dr. Andrew Jozwiak. If you remember Dr. Stephen Allen, and a lot of you are nodding ahead there, he was the guy with kind of the out-of-town accent, him. He decided he was finished. He wanted to retire from conducting, but mostly from driving the Pennsylvania Turnpike from Princeton, New Jersey. So Steve said goodbye, and we were so fortunate. Andy was our first choice, and he said yes for some reason. So yeah, we're thrilled. We're thrilled to have him here. I want to thank St. James Episcopal for having us here in this beautiful and historic venue. We're just thrilled to be here. I also want to say hello to anyone who's watching us this evening on live stream, or if this ends up going up on YouTube and it's 10 years later. Hi, I don't know if I'm still alive, but welcome. Okay, so our next piece for you, any of you watch, and this is mostly going to be older guys probably, any of you watch Westerns on TV, or you enjoy a good Western every once in a while? Yeah. So the music that we're about to play for you is probably the quintessential Western theme of all time. And I almost love the fact that you don't have programs, so you're saying, what's that going to be? Is it going to be the music from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly? Is it going to be, you're probably guessing in your head. You're going to know it. I can promise you that. And put your cowboy hats on, saddle up. This is the music from the Magnificent Seven. Who knew? I was thinking about you, Shayna, telling us that this is the only loud sound that doesn't hurt. I like that one. I like that one a lot. Yeah, we're going to take it to the edge, but we're going to hope to not hurt you. That's not our goal is to not hurt. So, yeah. Andy, I'm going to give you the mic for the next one, I think.
Thank you very much. My name is Andrew Yozoviak, and I have the privilege of directing the Lancaster British Brass Band. My day job is the director of bands at Westchester University, just outside of Philadelphia, a little bit 2 hour east from here. But always have just a great time with this group. The music is so fun, the people are great, and the audiences we get to perform for always so spirited. So thank you for joining us this evening. We're going to keep things on the lighter side of the force with this next piece, and we're going to get a little body with this next one. And if there is a section in our ensemble who embraces body, it's our trombone section. Guilty as charged, yeah. We're going to feature Rick Stahersky, Dale Broom, and Ernie Lightfoot on Basin Street Blues.
Thank you very much. Nice to feature the trombone section. Can we give them one more hand, please? I don't like to over-encourage them, but that was enough. Yeah, thank you. So if you're planning a program, there's almost like a formula you want to have for a concert. Oh, we need one of these. We need an opener. Of course, we need a closer. We're going to need a nice soft piece here. And every band concert, even if it's a brass band, should have a march in it. So this is going to be our march for you. This march was composed in 2021 by Gail Robertson, and eventually was adapted for brass band and premiered by probably the global all-star ensemble of all time in brass bands, the Battle Creek Brass Band. So this is going to be a new piece that you're hearing for the very first time, because we just learned this piece. This is Persistence, Fanfare, and March. Thank you very much. So one of the questions that we get asked more often than any other is, we've heard of brass bands, but why are you a British brass band? And I think it's simply us trying to make sure you understand what you're coming to hear. So it's all about our instrumentation that makes this an exact kind of terminology. So the same way as a football team has 2 tackles, 3 linebackers, you know, that type of thing. A brass band that's a British style brass band has a very specific number of players, and they're assigned to specific instrument parts. So I wanted to go through real quickly the instruments that are in front of you, especially if it's your first time ever being at a brass band concert. So obviously, besides the brass players, we have 3 percussionists back there that are just hitting everything they can find. So our gentleman back there playing timpani, I see. Clem's making noises on a drum set, which is nothing new. And we also have mallets being played, and just, yeah, you're deaf back there, yes. So besides the percussion, we're always grateful that they're willing to come even play with brass players. We have a tuba section, but it's very specific. We have E-flat tubas, and would you guys hold those up for a second? Elephant flats. I know, I'm seeing if you're listening. So they're mad because I changed the order on them, okay? If they would come to rehearsals, they would know I'm gonna go this. Just kidding. Let's try again. We'll start from the beginning, okay? You ready? Percussion, yeah, they're done. Now, I'm gonna change it up on them again. Let's see if they're listening. B-flat tubas. Whew. And E-flat tubas. Now, here's a bizarre thing. If you're a musician at all brass band parts are in treble clef, except for the bass trombone. I have no idea if he was just having an argument with the composer or what happened there, but everyone else is reading treble clef, which is normally for higher instruments, okay? So besides our tuba section, I'm gonna move to our trombone section next. You've already met them, but it's 2 tenor trombones and a bass trombone. In front of them, we have our euphoniums. Now, they're sitting basically where, in an orchestra, where the cello section would be. So, ooh la la over here, our euphonium section. And beside them, we have probably the Rodney Dangerfield of the instruments. Let's show some respect here. These are the baritone horns. I tried to set you up for that, okay? Beside our baritone horns, we have, of course, being a brass band, we don't have French horns. Instead, I mean, we're a British brass band, they don't like the French. So instead, we have tenor horns. I'm just always nervous that they might drop those when they're doing that. So, and beside our tenor trombones, our tenor horns, we have a flugelhorn. Remember Chuck Mangione and those guys? Yes. And then we have an array of cornets over here. No trumpets. Trumpets are illegal in this state, okay? Our front row, they're all playing what we call solo first cornet parts. I'll let them hold those beauties up. And I'm gonna sit down so you can see better. Then we have a section, it's our third cornets, our second cornets. Here's the mystery. The guy beside me is playing something called a Repiano cornet. I have no idea what that means, okay? I think it's like a jack of all trades. So he's covering, at least from what I can hear next to me, he's covering sometimes the flugelhorn part with them. Sometimes he's jumping on the front line. He's putting a little Band-Aid wherever it's needed and doing it well, Dr. Belser, okay? And then I'm playing a little oddball instrument. This is an E-flat cornet, so it's a little higher in pitch than the rest of them, and it kind of cuts right through sometimes if you need it to. So that's our brass band instrumentation. Hopefully, we'll quiz you at intermission and see if you understand all that. How many of you are familiar with the name Billy Joel? Don't get too excited, he is not here. Okay, he is not here, but we're gonna play one of his pieces. We're gonna play a lullaby called Good Night, My Angel, and some of the guys are moving into position. Don't give them any attention. Look at me. You don't see them, okay? Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Scott. So Billy Joel wrote this lullaby, Goodnight, My Angel, for his 7-year-old daughter. You can just imagine this. She says to him, Daddy, where do people go when they die? Kind of heavy, right? Kind of heavy. He thought about it, and Billy Joel answered his 7-year-old, after you die, you go into other people's hearts, and they take you with them through their lives. And then you pass that along to your children. She seemed content with the answer. It was kind of a scary question, he says, but the answer made sense to her. So this is just a lovely piece, especially after the march, where we almost took the ceiling off. This is going to be just a lovely march, a lovely piece. If you've ever seen Billy Joel perform this, it's just he on stage by himself playing the piano and singing. So you can picture him singing this to his 7-year-old. This is going to feature 5 of our band members, Scott Luce and Bob Belser on flugel, and our trombone trio again, Rick Stahersky, Dale Groom, and Ernie Lightfoot. This is Goodnight, My Angel. Very nice job, gentlemen. Very nice. Well, one of the things when you're programming, you then need, especially if you're going to take an intermission after the piece, you need kind of a blockbuster piece where everyone's going, oh my gosh, I'm staying for the second half. That's this piece. That's this piece. I shouldn't say this out loud because this is like jinxing us, but I believe this is the piece that so far this season we've played better than any other piece. So don't let me down. Don't let me down. So let me tell you a little bit about it. The composer is Paul Lovett Cooper. He writes a lot for the Black Dyke Band in Queensbury, England. He also writes a lot for Salvation Army staff bands around the world. This piece was commissioned for the 120th anniversary of the International Staff Band, and it was first performed in the Royal Albert Hall in 2011. If you would happen to be a Salvationist, you would know the tunes, but otherwise, I just think they're very beautiful pieces that are going to be incorporated. So Salvationists would be saying, yes, these are three of our favorite hymns. They may not be familiar to you. They might be. I'll leave that up to you. The motto of the Salvation Army is Blood and Fire. The name of this closing piece for the first half is Fire in the Blood. Go ahead, finish your conversations, and then let me know. Let me know when you're ready. Well, listen, welcome back, everybody. It's always nice when the audience stays for the second half. Yeah. We hate coming out, and the place is empty, and they all snuck out during intermission. So you must be staying because of the dessert reception afterwards. So, aha. Well, let's talk about the next piece. And I felt funny the other day. We were playing this concert at St. John Newman, and I was ending up giving this spiel about King Henry VIII, and probably not real appropriate for me to be doing. No arrows actually hit me, but I was wondering how that was going over. So anyhow, let me find out if you know these facts about King Henry VIII. Lots of wives, yes. Wasn't real big on letting his wives age gracefully. Okay. Had a little dispute with the Pope at the time. And if you ever saw pictures of Henry VIII, kind of big and chunky, maybe eating on a venison leg or something like that, they always had pictures of him feasting. Well, let's talk about the King Henry VIII that actually wrote this next piece. So when he was younger, a very gifted athlete, a dancer, a composer, and wrote this choral piece that does have words. I'm not going to bother you with those right here, but basically this piece is talking about the joys of hunting and dancing and singing. And it's also called, this piece we're about to play for you, The King's Ballad. So this is going to be court entertainment at its finest. This piece is called Pastime with Good Company, written by King Henry VIII and arranged by Stephen Roberts. I probably should have said when Stephen Roberts did the arrangement, he kind of put in some 21st century hip swag to the piece. So yeah, in case you're thinking, is that really what Henry wrote? He wrote that melody. He wrote that melody. So the Renaissance fair is officially over, though. That's it. That's it. So put your turkey legs down, okay? We're going to move on with a little bit of what I would say elegant simplicity. This is, in some ways, it's going to sound simple. In other ways, because there's so few moving notes going on, this could be our most difficult piece of the evening as far as just sustaining. At one point, you're going to hear the cornets playing a note near the end that I believe goes on for about 18 minutes. Just one note, just goes on and on. So the piece is called Luxaramqua, and it was written by Eric Whitaker. So if you're a fan of choral music, he's one of your superstars. And he actually wrote this for the Christmas season. And he wrote a text to this. The text is, light, warm, and heavy as pure gold, and angels sing softly to the newborn babe. Our own Scott Luce, who does a lot of arranging and loves to arrange music, transcribed this beautiful piece for brass band instrumentation. This is Luxaramqua.
Good evening. I am Bob Belser, and I have the good fortune of being the president of this wonderful group of musicians. I have a couple of thank yous before our next number. First to St. Jane's' own Gene Clark for making the arrangements for our return. Yes, you told me not to say thank you, but thank you. Thanks to his wife, Christy. I hear we have some wonderful cookies waiting for us in the reception area. That's what he's telling me. I hope they're good. Thanks to Reverend Shana for her message and her hospitality. And thanks also to Chris Keeney back there pushing all the right buttons and making us look good up here. And thanks for the live streaming as well. With this being our last concert of the spring series, I have two other thank yous. First, thanks in order to Maestro Jozwiak. He's got a crazy schedule. His world is busy. He's got a talented musician for a spouse. Her schedule's crazy. They've got a young kiddo at home, and thank you for making the effort and the time to come here, keeping us out of trouble, and certainly continuing to move us in the right direction musically. So thank you. Huge thanks to the group behind us. This season seemed to have more craziness than usual, with numerous illnesses, not just to the group, but to loved ones, school graduations, sports, playoffs, weddings, you name it. But the commitment this group makes to create the wonderful music that we do is incredibly special, and I take great pride in being part of it. So I appreciate the efforts more than you know, so thank you. I also forgot to thank you guys. Thanks for coming out. It's really a blast playing for people that are so appreciative, and it's you know, the enthusiasm is palpable up here, and so we appreciate all the spirit, and so thank you for coming. Our next piece, Balkan Dance, is a creation of Etienne Crozes, a 40-year-old Swiss tuba player and a self-taught composer, inspired by the Balkan region's reputation for strong, irregular rhythms, multiple musical climaxes, conjuring up visions of their popular circle and line dances. Program note, due to one of our cornet players battling some Achilles tendonitis, we will not be doing our planned dance routine in the middle of the song. We will not. Sorry, but keep an ear open. We got some wonderful music making from our soloist, Rick Stahersky on trombone, Amy Cherry on cornet, Mark Brumbaugh on euphonium, Scott Luce on flugel, and Chris Freilich on tenor horn. Oh, and lastly, I failed to mention that the Balkan dances often have their share of singing. Well, watch out, the Lancaster British Brass Band Chorus may make an appearance.
You're gonna like this one. And 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm thinking we might be the best Balkan choir you've ever heard. Well, speaking of dancing and all that good stuff, let me talk to you about the next piece just a little bit. This next one is called Clog Dance, C-L-O-G. It was a one-hit wonder by the British rock group Violinsky in 1979. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. The other day I went on YouTube, and they are indeed performing Clog Dance on there. So go home tonight, yes. And while you're there, go over to YouTube and like our page. Go over to Facebook and like our page if you have an account, because we would love for you to stay in contact with us and know where we are for different concerts coming up. Our next concerts, by the way, while I'm thinking of it, are like the very first week in August. It's somewhere hovering in that area. We'll be doing 3 of them, one at Highland Presbyterian, one at St. Peter's Lutheran, and one at the Mount Gretna Tabernacle. So we'll hope to have you there for one of those. This Clog Dance, it reached number 17 on the UK charts that year. And I'm guessing this will be one of the top 17 pieces you've heard tonight. So this is Clog Dance, also used during the brass band movie that we require they memorize the movie. It's called Brassed Off. And so if you're looking for a movie that kind of gives you a little bit of hit of brass banding, it's all about the brass band world back in England in a mining town. So this is Clog Dance. we have one more piece for you, and you've been a terrific audience. I can't tell you how important it is to have energy coming back at us when we're trying to play. And I could tell even from the Star Spangled Banner when we finished that this is going to be a great night with a great audience. So thank you so much. The band really, really appreciates it, and we don't take it for granted at all. I do have a couple of thank yous also, like Bob did. These first folks are St. James people. So just some real quick thanks. Mother Shana, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Bill Wright, who's here as the music director, we appreciate Bill. Chris back there Chris Keeney doing the sound and doing the live stream. Awesome job on your part. The facilities person, Matt Henry, and the sexton here at St. James, Satawa, and the ushers. And the other thank you I have is for Christy Clark, who I understand baked 250 cookies for this reception. Now, the band was out there during intermission, so there might be 25 of those left at this point. I apologize for duplicating some of Bob's comments, but I want to also thank Andy for sharing your musical expertise for us. We really feel honored to have you as our conductor, Andy. Thank you so much. And my last thank you is to our president, who you would not believe all the work that goes into that. Now, he's a full-time ENT, and he, sometimes I'm texting him saying, hey, Bob, did you think about this for the concert? And he's coming out of the OR after doing a sinus surgery or something. So it's just amazing that he's able to also juggle the band with this. And I want to thank his wife, too, Julie, if you're out here. Thank you for letting us have Bob as our president. We really do appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you, sir. So I mentioned right before we did Fire in the Blood that we actually have two blockbuster pieces. This is the other blockbuster for you. Our final music offering is a brilliant arrangement by Martin Cordner, and the music is Lord of Sea and Sky, if you know that hymn. Also known as Here I Am, Lord. You might know it by that. And it's just an amazing arrangement. There's a surprise ending, and I'll leave it there with you and see if you get a little chuckle out of the surprise and then the real ending as we do that. But anyhow, enjoy our last piece. This is Lord of Sea and Sky. You're in luck, we know one more piece. Actually, most of us have this one memorized. It's our traditional encore that we do every time. We'll try to do it better than ever before. And then we'll go have cookies together, okay? This is Men of Harlech.